Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. Was there a decade better for heavy metal than the 1980s? I want you guys to leave me a comment down below. Let me know your answer to that question. My answer to the question is no. There was no other decade better for heavy metal than the 1980s. Sure, the 70s were awesome. Some great stuff came out of it. Sure, the 90s were good. A little bit of good stuff came out of the 90s. And the 2000s so far have been awesome. A lot of great stuff in the 2000s. But the 80s, man, that's where it was at. You had probably the two biggest subgenres of heavy metal, still to this day, mainly kind of coming out and blowing up in the 80s. Glam metal and thrash metal. You know, death metal kind of started in the mid to late 80s as well. But mainly the two, you know, they were kind of fighting against each other. It was the glam metal crowd and the thrash metal crowd fighting against each other. But it was all great. I've said it before on this channel, I'm an 80s kid. I grew up listening to, watching MTV, really. So I loved all those 80s hair bands, the glam bands. Those bands were my gateway drug into the other stuff that I'm into now, mainly the thrash stuff. Your Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Sepultura, Anthrax, you know, Iron Maidens as well. But I loved all that 80s stuff. I still do. So I wanted to do an episode today and kind of pay tribute to these glam bands. And I want to, you know, pay tribute and honor Jeff LaBar, the guitar player for Cinderella, recently passed this past week. So I want to honor him as well. So for this episode, I'm giving you guys my top 10 favorite hair bands of all time. Not albums, but hair bands. So I'm going to give you my top 10/best. I want you guys to check out my rankings. I want you guys to give me your top 10. Tell me which bands I didn't include that I should have. Which bands I included that I probably should take out. So these are my top 10. There's a lot of great hair bands. I love a lot of them. Honorable mention to bands like Winger, Dangerous Toys, Kix, Faster Pussycat, Enough's Enough, Firehouse, LA Guns. There's so many great ones that I'm probably forgetting. So many great ones I like listening to. They have some great hits. But we're going to focus on my top 10 favorite best hair bands of all time. We're going to go from 10 to 1, 1 being the best. So let's get right into it. Number 10, White Lion. This is the Pride album. It came out June 22nd, 1987. So I just finished 6th grade. And I remember going to summer camp that year, and all the girls had on the White Lion t-shirts because Wait and Tell Me were on MTV every 5 minutes, and then When the Children Cry. And they were all going nuts over this guy right here, Mike Tramp. Meanwhile, I was like, the guitar player, I think his name's Vito Bratta, he's awesome. So instantly I was drawn to White Lion because of their guitar tone, but the songs Tell Me and Wait are worth the price of the album alone. Great tunes, the whole album's really good. But Vito Bratta is one of those guitar players. His guitar tone, his style of playing, you can tell that when he was little, he saw a Van Halen video somewhere and said, I'm going to be like that guy. Picked up a guitar and made it happen and played on White Lion. And now they are my number 10 favorite best hair band of all time. So check it out. And we'll go through these records, and because I'm an MTV guy and that's where I first discovered all these hair bands, we'll just pick out the tracks that they had videos for MTV. So there's a picture of the guys. I can't stop laughing when I see that photo. Liner notes with some lyrics. And this is on Atlantic Records. Like I said, it came out June 22nd, 1987. So that's number 10, White Lion. Take it back in here. So number 9 is another album that came out in 1987. This one was April 7th, 1987. It is Whitesnake's 1987 album. Again, great guitar tone on this record. I feel it's a little heavier than your traditional hairband style, which I loved. I just love those guitars. They're just crunchy. So there is the emblem for Whitesnake. Some lyrics. This one, I believe, is on Geffen Records. Yep, Geffen Records. So standout tracks on this, obviously, what adolescent kid growing up can forget? Tonic Attain, Crawling Over the Car, and Here I Go Again. You also had Still of the Night, which is phenomenal. And then my all-time favorite song on the album, which had a great video, which is Give Me All Your Love Tonight. One thing I remember about that video from MTV was Rudy Sarzo was the bass player. And I forget who the guitar player was, but he had this guitar that was like painted like a brick wall. And those two dudes, the entire video, just kept licking their guitars, putting up like, doing that with it. I was like, all right, whatever, man, do your thing. The song's cool. A little weird that you're licking your guitars, but whatever. So Whitesnake comes in at number 9 for me. Number 8 is Dawson. This is the Back for the Attack album. Came out, again, 1987, November 2nd, 1987. Not my favorite Dawson record. That one's probably under Lock and Key, but I would have to say this is where I discovered Dawson. MTV had the videos for Heaven Sent, which was phenomenal. Amazing George Lynch guitar tone. That guitar solo is, again, phenomenal. Probably one of my all-time favorite guitar solos in heavy metal. And then the song Dream Warriors, which is on this album, was also from the Nightmare on Elm Street movie soundtrack, which is a great song. So this album was where I discovered Dawson. And like I said, I still listen to them a lot this day because of George Lynch. This picture of the guys. Don Dawson's not a bad singer. His songs are catchy. I like pretty much every album they have, like the first 4 or 5 records. I like all of them. This one's on Atlantic. But I listen to this day basically for George Lynch. He's that good of a guitar player. There are songs like In My Dreams that are kind of cheesy, but George Lynch, his guitar playing is so good, you kind of forget the cheesy lyrics. So that's number 8, Dawson. Number 7 is Twisted Sister. This is Stay Hungry, May 10th, 1984. There's the original hype sticker for We're Not Gonna Take It, which obviously We're Not Gonna Take It. And I Wanna Rock were the standout videos. And also, I believe The Price was also on MTV. But We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock are the standout videos. Great album. The entire album's phenomenal. It's not a skippable track on the record. And if I was going to do a top 10 hair band records, this would be like 3 or 4 in my opinion. But because I feel that some of the other Twisted Sister records are a little bit subpar, I had to put these guys at number 7. So, lyrics, picture of the dudes, and then a little note to the fans that says, "Play it loud, mother." And this is the first one, I think, of all 10 of these, the only one that actually has the band logo on the label. Could be wrong, but I think it's the only one in the top 10 that I've got. So, like I said, great record. Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. Twisted Sister coming in at number 7 on my top 10 all-time favorite hair bands. And coming in at number 6 is Warrant. Yes, this is Cherry Pie. Yes, it came out in 1990, but it's the only Warrant album I have in my collection. My favorite album by them is obviously their debut, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinkin' Rich, which came out January 27th, 1989. To me, Warrant is the epitome of hair bands. They're one of the few, like 5 or 6 bands that are just straight up hair metal. They started out as a hair metal band, they ended as a hair metal band, they never tried to change or be anything different than hair metal, and I love them for that. They did it well. That Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinkin' Rich album is great. Cherry Pie is great. To me, that's where they end. Once Janie left the band, Warrant ended for me. I don't think I've actually even listened to anything they've ever done that he hasn't been on. So, to me, Warrant is with him, and without it, I don't want to bother. But they were a great band, coming in at number 6 for me on my top 10 best hair metal bands of all time. Coming in at number 5 is just like Warrant. When the lead singer left, I got off the ride. And that band is Skid Row. This is their debut record, January 24th, 1989. One of those albums that is so good, there's not a skippable track on the record. Nothing fancy here, just lyrics. Here's another one that came out on Atlantic Records. The standout tracks on this album from MTV, obviously 18 in Life, Youth Gone Wild, Piece of Me, and then, of course, like every band had to put out the ballad, was I Remember You. But this is a phenomenal record. Their follow-up to this, which is Slave to the Grind, is another phenomenal record. Highly recommend checking this one out, though. It is flawless, in my opinion. Skid Row, coming in at number 5 on my top 10 favorite best hair metal bands. Coming in at number 4 is Cinderella. I've talked about this album before. This is Night Songs, their debut, which came out June 9th, 1986. I've said before that to me, their music, the sound of their music, is a little bit better than traditional heavy metal, traditional hair bands of that era. I believe they're a little bit something more. They've got more substance. They're more of like a dirty, bluesy rock band. But come on, check them out. Look at the photo of them. And there's Jeff right there. Rest in peace, dude. Look at the photo of the guys. That's a hair band. Check it out right there. Come on, man. That's a hairband. So, they're at number 4 on my all-time favorite hairbands of all time right there. There's the record. And standout tracks from MTV are Night Songs, Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, and Somebody Save Me. And if I'm not mistaken, Somebody Save Me had John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora in the video. So, pretty cool. Coming at number 3 on my top 10 best favorite all-time hairbands, Rat. This is the Out of the Cellar album. Standout tracks like Round and Round and Back for More on MTV. In fact, the Back for More video featured Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. No inner sleeve for this. This is just the record, again, on Atlantic Records. I tell you what, Atlantic Records and Elektra made some money in the 80s off some of these hair metal and thrash metal bands. So, great album. Pretty much the first 4 Rat records are really, really good, but this is probably my favorite record from Rat. Again, great 80s hairband. Look at them right there, the guys. Total 80s, just like Warrant. They were dirty sleaze rock, but the way they looked from the beginning throughout, they dressed as a hairband, looked like back in the day. But they sound great. Warren DeMartini, he's a guitar player who's very much like George Lynch in my opinion. His style and guitar tone are very unique. You can kind of tell it's him. So I rank him and George up there, probably the 2 best, 80s hairband guitar players. So there we go. Number 3 on my top 10 best hairbands, Rat. Number 2, you know I had to put these guys in. Motley Crue, coming in at number 2. Like I said, check out my origin stories down below. Scroll through my videos. My heavy metal origin stories features Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. And I do believe I mentioned on that where I don't think Motley Crue is a traditional hair band. Their first album, Too Fast for Love, second album, Shout at the Devil, to me were more heavy metal, sleaze rock, in my opinion, kind of biker-ish, which they went back to on the Girls, Girls, Girls record, kind of that biker vibe feel. But check them out right there. The reason why I chose Theater of Pain for this video is though that's a hairband look right there. Theater of Pain came out June 21st, 1985. There we go right there. Come on, that's a hairband, guys. And I love Motley Crue. Love all their first 5 records. I love all their stuff, but their first 5 records with Vince are my favorite. That 80s stuff can't be beat, in my opinion. Here it is on Elektra Records. I know that the band doesn't really like Theater of Pain, and in terms of like fan thoughts on it, it's usually ranked last when it comes to the top or the first 5 Motley Crue records. But I love mixed guitar tone. A lot of heavy stuff on this. The videos, obviously, Smoking in the Boys' Room and Home Sweet Home. But if you listen to songs like Louder Than Hell, Keep Your Eye on the Money, Save Our Souls, Tonight We Need a Lover, that's some heavy guitar tone stuff from Mick Mars. Original OG album on vinyl. So there's the fan club order form where you cut it right there. There's the items you can buy. Really, really cool. So, yep. Coming in at number 2, Motley Crue. Coming in at number 1 for the all-time favorite best hair band of all time, Poison. This is their debut record, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Came out May 23rd, 1986. Check out the guys. Bobby Dahl, Bret Michaels, CC DeVille, Ricky Rocket. Bret Michaels, Bobby Dahl, CC DeVille, Ricky Rocket. Check out those photos. Dude, seriously, for like 3 months I thought they were all chicks. And good-looking chicks at that. Once I started seeing more of the videos, the first video that I saw for this one was Talk Dirty to Me, and then when I Want Action came out, I was like, alright, these are dudes. There's a fold-out liner notes with the lyrics, pictures of the guys. This one's on Capitol Records, right here. Great record. Again, CC DeVille's guitar tone, which all the albums I've discussed so far, there's something unique about the guitars. I like CC's guitar tone on this album. I do feel it's perfect hair metal, but also a little heavy. He's got some kind of weightiness to his guitar playing when it comes to the riffs, particularly on songs like Play Dirty, Look What the Cat Dragged In, Talk Dirty to Me, Number One Bad Boy, and Let Me Go to the Show. MTV videos were I Want Action, I Won't Forget You, Talk Dirty to Me, and I believe Cry Tough was also a video as well. But great record. Just like Warrant, Poison started out as a hair band. They still are a hair band to this day. They never tried to be anything different. They never tried to really change. They're just a good old-fashioned rock and roll hair band. I love them for that, and just like Warrant, they're really good at it. I believe these guys are the best at that. So, number 1, Poison, best hair band of all time. So, those are my rankings. We'll go over them again real quick. Number 10, White Lion. 9, Whitesnake. 8, Dawson. 7, Twisted Sister. 6, Warrant. 5, Skid Row. 4, Cinderella. 3, Rat. 2, Motley Crue. And number 1, Poison. Did I do a good job? What are your rankings? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your top 10 hair bands of all time are. Let me know which ones I left out, which ones I need to take out of my top 10. I'm interested in your opinion. Hit that like, subscribe. Go find me on Instagram. And as always, guys, cheers.